talk about age. I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you I'm not the oldest guy out here. I see older people than me through hiking quite often. Last year on the Florida Trail, I went to Billy Goat days, and I met Billy Goat, who's in his early 90s, and Nimbleweed Nomad, who's in his late 80s, and I don't think they're through hiking anymore, but they're still moving pretty good, and that's my theory: move it or lose it. And I think hiking is a real subtle way to use all your muscles, cardiac, without destroying things like pickleball and contact sports and even marathon running. I think take a toll on your body, especially as you get older. So if you break your life down into quarters, I know I'm in the last quarter of this game, but so far I don't have any major issues, and I hope to keep hiking as long as I can. 10 years ago, the first time I did the Arizona Trail, so I was 66, and I was hiking with a guy named Has No Horse, and he was 71, and so I thought, okay, I can do this till I'm 71. Well, now I'm well past that, and I don't see any end in sight, but I've always joked that at my age you can wake up dead any morning. And in politics they're all talking about taking cognitive tests. We got to worry about that too. And I'm only a couple of years younger than Biden and Trump, and Biden can hardly walk and Trump can't dance. Both of them don't have much of a command of the English language anymore, so I'm leaving it up to you to tell me if I start babbling. If you see something, say something. I'd like to know. Leave it in the comments below. But I can honestly say that when I'm out here doing 20-25 miles a day, I feel a whole lot better than when I'm home. And I don't lead a sedentary life at home, but I don't get up dark 30 and walk all day. And I do a lot of stretches in the morning. I do 50 push-ups, but I can tell you, as you get older, 50 push-ups get harder and harder. Howdy.
Howdy. Just as far as we're going.
Beautiful day.
It is. It's gorgeous. We'll have good travel.
You too. Have a good trip. Keep smiling.
Yep.
Got nice weather coming. Perfect timing. An older couple just walked up while I was filming, and they both have a cane, but they're still moving. Move it or lose it. The other thing is nutrition. So, when you're in your 20s, your body will forgive a lot more than when you're in your 70s. And I've hiked with a lot of young people that can live on nachos and beer for months at a time and successfully finish a through hike, but I can't live like that. That'd kill me. So my wife and I have been watching this show called Alive. So it's a yearly series of like a reality show, and they put these people out. They can pick 10 items out of 40 items, and they just drop them off in the middle of nowhere, usually Great Slave Lake in the Arctic, up in northern Saskatchewan in the fall, so it's going to get cold. And the last one standing goes home with $500,000. Well, a lot of them get pulled out for medical reasons because they just are starving to death and their body starts eating itself. But what I notice, and it's all about nutrition, and I think the same thing applies to through hiking. These people, they get so hungry that their emotions take over. They start out pretty tough. I'm not tapping out. They're gonna have to drag me out of here. If a bear attacks me, somebody better help this bear. And then Some of them get out there in 24 hours. They see a pile of bear scat and they call on their phones, they take me out of here. But those that last quite a while, weeks, they start getting hungry if they're not getting enough food and the right kind of food, and you see their emotions take over and they quit, they tap out. And I've seen that so many times with people on a through hike that really weren't taking really good care of themselves. They talk themselves right out of finishing that through hike, and a lot of it has to do with nutrition. So again, you can get away with a lot of that stuff when you're young, physical and mental. But as you age, you've got to take a little bit better care if you want to be successful at a long hike. So I guess I would say start out with good genes, because there's some things you can't control, but you can control when you're younger, overconsumption of alcohol, contact sports, smoking. All those things will catch up with you in your senior years and will accumulate over the years. And sometimes you won't make it to your senior year because of a misspent youth. So most people aren't that forward looking, but I can tell you, I have a lot of acquaintances who didn't take care of themselves when they were younger, and now they're paying for it and regretting it. My buddy who used to run the VA in my town, I had a beer with him the other night, and he was telling me that when we get dementia, we can go into a VA home and it's really cheap. And I said, I have a much better plan. I've already told my wife and daughter just to smear me with honey and peanut butter, drop me off at a trailhead in East Glacier National Park and head me west. I don't want to end up in any kind of a home, cheap or expensive. Keep smiling. So I called that show Alive, but it's actually called Alone. And the objective is to come out alive with a $500,000 check in your hand. And my wife asked me what items I'm going to pick. And I told her, I'm not going on that show because I don't hunt. And I really don't like fish that much. But she said, well, what items would you pick if you did go on? And I said, I'd take my Winnebago. And I'd fill it with freeze-dried food.